Test one. Good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Total Golf Trainer Talk. That's our name for now. We might change it up, but if you got any suggestions, let us know. This is good, brand new to us. We're going to be starting this podcast. We want to talk to you guys. We want to talk about topics. I'm going to talk about some of my lessons. We're going to talk about amateurs, professionals. We're going to get into all kinds of things in this Total Golf Trainer Talk. So today I just want to first start out, I guess, letting you guys get to know me a little bit. My name is Michael Gish. I am the owner and inventor of Total Golf Trainer. I've been a golf instructor for 21 years now, starting with the Jim McLean Golf Academy, working with some of the best teachers in the country now, most of which are top 50, top 100 teachers in the country. So really a great start for me with a great company, being able to be exposed to everybody from dead beginners to tour players. Jim has some of his tour players out there. We were able to sit in on the lessons, watch them work with them, as well as some of the other instructors had tour players. So all that is just great stuff. And I guess when it comes to golf instruction, you see a total difference between instructors. You know the ones that have passion, and you know the ones that are just doing it to pay the bills. I've been around lots of them. I can tell you this is something that is a passion to me. I love teaching golf. If I didn't love it, I would definitely do something that would make more money and make a better living. Because all of you out there who are golf instructors know this is a tough business to be in and really, really financially benefit from it. So you've got to work hard. You've got to put in your time. It's not an easy thing to get into. And I just love to teach. Now, a caveat to that is I also invented some golf training aids, and I love helping people. So the whole training aid business was just an extension of me being a golf instructor. Now, instead of being able to do 4, 5, 6 lessons in a day, I can give 1,000 lessons in a day by having training aids that people can use to reinforce what they're working on, for coaches to use to give a player a different feel, something else to be able to reinforce what they're trying to teach them. One of the hardest and most difficult things as a teacher is when you get a student, you finish a lesson, it's the greatest lesson, the student's happy with the lesson, everybody's psyched about it, and then they come back next week and they go, yeah, I didn't get to practice much. I really forgot what we worked on, and then what happens? We end up doing the same lesson again. Now, for the instructor, it gets frustrating. Yeah, sure, we get paid. It doesn't matter. It's still frustrating. You don't like giving the same information over and over and over and them not getting it. Now, for the student, it should get frustrating too, because you're paying for the same lesson again and again and again. So this has to be both sides. When you get a great lesson, get out there and practice. That way you can come back and the coach is going to love when you say, Coach, I've been practicing. Here's what I learned. Here's how I do it. And it helps that coach be able to teach you better. So that is a little brief of me and a brief of where I come from and a little bit of more than that. Now I want to talk about what I dove into this morning, which was a clinic of 11 players, half of which were golfers, half of which were dead beginners. So people who've never given lessons before, this would be a nightmare scenario. How are you going to give people who've played golf information and people who haven't played golf information? Well, very simple. We split them up. We split up the beginners into one group. We split up the guys who played into another group. And then we go and we have to ask some questions. So one of the biggest things, all of you out there who do take lessons, make sure you validate your coach. Ask your coach, where have you studied? Who have you studied under? Where do you film from? Just a simple question of, do you film from ball line or do you film from target line? And maybe why? If you can get your coach to answer some of these questions to validate his or her knowledge of their instructional knowledge, it's going to make for a better lesson for you. It's going to make for a better lesson for the coach. Now, you might find out after asking some of these questions, you know what, the knowledge of this person isn't where I want it. It's not extensive as I would like. Let me find somebody else. And trust me, there are lots of coaches out there, lots of platforms, lots of places you can get lessons from. And I always recommend taking lessons. The Total Golf Trainer products were designed to reinforce what instructors like myself and thousands of others teach out there to get the student better. all of us teachers, we're trying to get students better. How do students help us get better? Well, put your own time and effort into it. Come back with some of your own thoughts, some of your own feedback. That's going to help the coach make it more personal to you. So I have this group, I have these beginners, and the first thing that I always like to do, it's kind of always a funny story, is every time a player comes to me and they say, Mike, I'm the worst driver at the club. I can't hit a fairway. I got no distance on my ball. The first thing I say is grab your wedge. We're going to the chipping green. And the looks that I get from people when I say that, let me tell you, they're not pretty. And the whole time we're chipping, the whole time we're pitching, they're looking at their watch. They're looking at me. They're looking at their watch. They're looking at me thinking, I wanted to hit driver better today. And after about 45 minutes of their hour lesson, we've got them chipping it solid, controlling the handle on the way through. I've got them rotating and pivoting in their pitching. Their arms are staying in front of them. I say, let's go hit some drivers. And they look at me and they go, well, you never told me how to hit a driver. And I say, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I did. Let's go. I'm going to tee one up. And 99.9% of the times when I tee it up, their first drive is the best drive they've hit in forever. The reason being is if you work on where the golf balls hit in this area of the golf swing and then work your way out to bigger swings, you're going to get it. You're going to change things. If you're standing on the range trying to get distance or trying to hit the ball with a draw or trying to hit it with any type of shot shape, and you don't know how, what in the world are you doing? The definition of insanity, all right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. This is a golf instructor's nightmare, all right? So to change things, you have to literally change things. And in golf, you've got to do it to the extreme version. You watch pros, Alex Norns, Justin Rose, you see the drills that they do. And these are drills that they work on with their coaches that then they take to the range and work on themselves. And they're all exaggerating so much. The reason this is such an exaggeration is because golf is a reaction type of sport. We can put action into practice. We can practice, we can think, we can hit balls, we can actually physically put action into it. Now when it comes time to step over the ball and hit the ball on the golf course, now becomes a reaction. Our body reacts. We swing in a certain way, probably not like the way we swing on the driving range. Definitely not like our practice swings with no golf ball in front of us. So these are the things that we try to bring together and help people understand. And as a player, you got to realize that there's certain things physically you can and can't do. And then there's certain things that you have to understand you can maximize them out. So we want to max out things we can do, and we don't want to beat ourselves up over things we can't do. This is just a general learn the game of golf in a fun way and don't beat yourself up over it. One of the biggest themes of this clinic and this group today of all the players was stop picking out the things you do wrong. It is probably one of the most frustrating scenarios to me when every student can come to me and they can tell me a list of things that they do wrong. And when I ask every student, can you tell me one thing you need to do right in order to hit a good shot? I very rarely get an answer for that. So think about it. Tour players, when they do these exaggerated practice swings, when they're out there working, they're only thinking about what they need to do correct. They're not out there saying, don't do this, don't do that, stop doing this, stop doing that. These aren't things that are going to help us learn. In order to learn, you have to think like you did when you were a kid, learning from your teachers in school. That is 3 plus 3. The answer was always 6. The teacher didn't say, hey, 3 plus 3 is not 7. 3 plus 3 is not 5. 3 plus 3 is not 9. That was never the case, because why would they want to tell you what the wrong answers are? You need to know what the right answers are. So every Captain Obvious, that is your playing partner, that tells you you hooked it, you duffed it, you chunked it, you topped it, say, thank you, Captain Obvious, for pointing out what I did wrong. If you can't tell me what I need to do right, then please shut it. All right? So everything's about what we need to do right. So from the beginner group to the more experienced group, we focused on what they need to do correctly. And I got to talk to each person individually to understand where their strengths and where their weaknesses were. So once again, as a coach and evaluation, when you go to see your coach, if that coach isn't asking you, where's the strongest part of your game? Where's the weakest part of your game? And actually, what do you want to get better at? then that coach is just out there to take some money. So make sure that you are vetting your coach as your coach is hopefully vetting you as a player as well, understanding what you need to work on, what's going to benefit you the most right now, as well as the cause and effects of the swing. Everybody can tell me what's wrong with their swing. Everybody can tell me they overhook it or overslice it, and all they're telling me is what are the effects. We can't fix effects. We have to fix causes of the effects. It's the only way players are going to really get better and really make changes. So once again, this whole clinic today, I gave the better half group some different information, a little bit more higher level information when it comes to body motion, your arms, the club, swing path, club face. And then when I was working with the beginner group, we focused a little more on basics, grip, setup, ball position, always getting into body motion. I finished this group off with what I consider probably one of the most important things that any golfer could do out there to benefit their golf game, and that is just simple body motion drills. So working with Jim McLean, he used to get with his kids at night after dinner, stand up and do body motion drills. Well, ultimately what this is you learning and understanding how your own body physically works, which is what we have to know in order to be consistent in the game of golf. Our body does not, our muscles do not have a memory. They don't. It's the brain that relays what we want these muscles to do. If the brain relays enough times to the muscles what we want them to do, then the action can start happening without necessarily having to think about it. It can happen as a reaction. So we talk about reaction being what happens when it comes to hitting the ball on the course. Action is what we have to take on the driving range. Quality instruction, vetting your coach, making sure you have the right coach that's going to teach you the right things. These are all things that we need to do better when you're out there wanting to get a lesson, when you want to improve in this game. So we just want to make sure that we get with the right coach, we get the right information, and it's all about what information is correct. If you're leaving saying, I got to fix this, 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 you don't have the right information. If you're leaving saying, I'm going to get better at this, I'm going to improve at this, I'm going to get more of this. These are things that now you've set as goals to say, this is how I'm going to improve, by improving things, not fixing things. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. I know I'm kind of a fast talker. I'll get slower. I'll get a little bit better. And once again, we want to hear some topics from you guys, even if you got some out there, what you want to hear us talk about, what you want to hear me talk about. I'm a storyteller. Once again, being in this game business for 22 years, I've got lots of stories. Other coaches, people who I've been with will tell you the stories are endless. I love it. It always ends with the TGT, Total Golf Trainer. We design training aids differently here, and that's no joke. There's nothing like the TGT products on the market. They were designed to be different. I didn't want to be like everybody else. I didn't want a one-piece pop-out mold product that anybody could go out and copy. I wanted something that everybody could use, everyone can have custom settings for, and coaches can use to reinforce anything that they're working on. Whether you're a system coach, whether you're a method coach, it doesn't matter to me. You want to teach stack and tilt, you want to teach lateral movement, that doesn't matter to the Total Golf Trainer products. They're here to help you with anything you want. And like I said, it's unlike anything else out there, which is why I wanted these products out on the market, something different. Don't get caught in the same old static products. These things will absolutely be able to give you specific feedback that's designed for you. Your coach will be able to set it up so that it fits you correctly. And when you leave, you'll be able to practice at home, in the office, on the range, even on the course when you're practicing with the products to make sure that you're doing the right things. Make sure you check out www.totalgolftrainer.com. All right.